Hi, everybody. It's Dee Slater with Create with Dee. Welcome. I hope that everyone's having a great Wednesday, and just that you're having a great Wednesday. I've got a fun new. Oops, let me get the echo off of here just real quick. There we go. I got a fun new fun fold and size that I found that I've never done before, and so I kind of switched up what I was going to do today so that I could um, let you guys see it right away and everything. And I hope that you really like it. All right, so before we get started on tonight's class, what I wanted to do is just remind everybody of some of my upcoming classes. I try to have a whole lot of different ways for people to come and join me and create with me. One is every Wednesday night, live at 5. I do a simultaneous streaming on Facebook and YouTube. And also that um, you can take classes with me. I have, again, like you can join me on, like get on my newsletter. I have like class announcements there. About twice a year, I do a newsletter only kind of like when I say special things where you have to be on my newsletter subscription to get my emails in order to get the benefits of it. And let's see what else. I guess that's it. And if you're local and want to do it in person, awesome. I have that too. So lots of ways to create with me here, I guess, either on social media or in person. Okay, I do have these two classes coming up if you're interested. This is the last day to RSVP. This is the Abigail Rose class. I'll have information here on the links afterwards on this if you're interested. Local stampers to Kendallville, Indiana, if you're within that probably about a 30-mile radius. I want to take the class. Today's the last day to RSVP for that too. So let me know if you want information on that. So this is an adorable note card set. And I'll just kind of give you a little sneak peek of one of the cards. So cute class. I love that class. And then another thing that I have coming up, it's going to be a spring fling retreat in a box where you're going to be making 12 cards. It's going to be 2 each of 6 designs. I tried to hide it as much as possible. I have a great retreat bag in here. I'm kind of like obsessed with it. I can't wait for the retreat to happen so that I can share it with everybody. But I think those that has the retreat will really enjoy it. Plus some extra prizes or surprises from me on that. Okay, so all of that information will be on there too if you're interested. Okay, let me show you what we're going to make here tonight. We are going to make 3 cards that all start out with 6x6 paper. And there's no special cutting to the paper. It's just scoring. So these look complicated. They're not. I know I said that before with the slider card that we did last week. And I have my act together this week. So please make sure to stay tuned. But it's the basic layout, but I'll show you 3 different looks to it and how to add to it. All right, so let me turn the camera to just the project only, and we'll go from there. Hi, Devette. Thanks for saying hi. Yes, please go ahead and if you would, as you come on, if you want to say a quick hello, if you like something that you see, let me know. Ooh, that's great. I haven't done that before. It's always nice to kind of just hear what you guys might be thinking. Okay, let's turn the camera around. All righty. So these are 3 cards that we're going to make today. Now, you don't have to make it with these patterns. I'm going to use the Regency Park Designer Series paper. So, I've got, actually, this is like 2 partial packs in here. And so, again, this is a great project when maybe you get down just to a few nitty-gritty sheets of paper that you have. And you're like, well, what am I going to do with this? I'd like to go ahead and, make something with it. This is going to be the answer to that solution right there. So while I'm using Regency Park, it's any 6x6. And of course, you can start with a 12x12 sheet of paper and cut it into 4ths, and you're good to go there as well. All righty, let's go ahead and we're going to make this card first. Okay, for this card, and for most of the cards, at least the first two cards, and this would be something of like the class to go if you'd be interested. What we're going to need are 2 sheets of our Pattern Designer Series paper. Again, I'm using Regency Park. I happen to pick 2 patterns that are the same pattern. And ahead of time, what I've done is I've scored both of them at 2.5. And so 2.5 is going to be our score mark that we're going to be using on all of the cards. All right. This is, in case you're saying like, D, what envelope's that? That's a number 10 business envelope. I had a bunch of those, and that's what works for these this card size. All right. Other things that we're going to have in here is we're going to need, this is soft soft succulent. And a lot of the dies I'm going to use tonight are going to be part of the new online exclusives that Stampin' Up! Has. This is the Radiating Stitch die set. It doesn't have a stamp set or anything with it, and that's kind of the look that you get with that on there. So I have that, and we're going to need some scrap paper here, and just a scrap piece of Mango Melody, and looks like that's just out of reach, but I'll go ahead and show you what we're going to, how this works. Okay, so we have 2 pieces of 6x6, and what we do is we're making pocket cards. So this one here is perfect for just that, a quick and cute little pocket card. Okay, and it looks like it almost could be one continuous piece of designer paper, but it's not. All right, so again, we've got our 2 pieces cut exactly, or the 6x6, both of them scored at 2.5. And what we're going to do is we're going to glue them back to back. So it's just up to you on what pattern that you'd want to show. Just to kind of mix things up, I'm going to fold it the opposite way. And so when this is closed, this one's going to look like this. I think this kind of reminds me of like a little clutch or wallet. And one of the other ones that we do really will do that. Okay, so all we're going to do is on this is going to be the back side. I'm going to take my liquid glue, and I'm going to do a fine bead all on the back side of it. So go right up to the score line. And do that. And then we're just going to go back to back. Okay, so I'm going to kind of move this up a little bit, or like, kind of fold it up so it lines up to the score line. And then get my bone folder again. Where'd it go already? And just get good contact on that. I'm going to open it up, and then I'm going to, before I do this, I'm going to take a circle punch. Now I have one of the old whale tails, but I know in Stampin' Up, I think, I'm not too sure if these are on back order, but they do have the 1 3/4 inch circle punch. You can take any size of circle punch that you want. And I'm just going to take a little bite out of it. I want to do that before I glue it down. And so this is the flap that's going to be folding up, and we're going to put another thin bead of glue here. You could also use tear and tape if you'd like for this section of it. I'm just going to use my liquid glue and push that up. This is going to form our pocket. So again, we're going to do 3 different pocket looks with our 6x6 paper. All right, and then I'm going to take our 3x5. I've got this cut at 3x5, and that's just to give myself plenty of leeway depending on how I glue. And then that's just going to tuck right in there, and that. Okay, so that's the basics of it. Go to town. You can make so many of these up ahead of time with your 6x6 paper. All right, let's go ahead and we'll do some stamping now to decorate it. Here you can see that I have my a scrap piece of basic white and going to get, using the Petal Park bundle. And so this has the Petal Park and then the Petal Park Builder Punch as well. And I'm going to take Mango Melody, and I'm just going to use the outline flower for this one. I'm going to use this flower on all of them. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp. When you do this so that the punch lines up, the big flower will be on your bottom right side. Okay, we'll do that, and I'll get the punch going. And line that up. What I'm doing here is stamping it just right on the white to get the outline only. And the reason why is on this paper here, you can see that it's the white with the yellow outline on it. So I wanted those flowers to mirror that just a little bit. All right, and I need to get a piece of that Mango Melody. It went flying on me when I took that out. I think the easiest thing would just be for me to cut another piece here real quick. So hang with me 2 seconds. Okay. For this, I'm just using a 1/4 of a or 3/4 strip of the paper. This can be scrap paper of any length. I just hurriedly cut off something on that. And I'm going to get my Night of Navy. That's in the color palette. Now in this Petal Park stamp set, you know, to get the flower images, you'll notice that there's no sentiments in it whatsoever. And so, you know, at this point, you know, you could get the paper and the punch in the stamp set, and then you can use whatever sentiments that you want. So I've got 3 different stamp sets that I'm using for the sentiments tonight. And on the Sentimental Park, that's all part of that Sentimental Park suite, or Regency Park. I can't remember which one it is. I'm using the Let's Celebrate. And so I'm going to ink that up with my Night of Navy. Put that on there. And this is easy peasy kind of stamping, because you just do this and we're just going to angle cut. I think we did that last week too. So 3/4 of an inch is a great strip to start with if you want to do some stamping and then just do a little zhuzhing up with just your paper snips. You can do that. Okay, right, let's put this together. And what I want to do is I'm going to build up my flowers here first. If you notice the flowers, you might be thinking like, Dee, you know, what did you do to get like that a little bit colored there on it? Well, you could sew one, take some blends and do that, but I wanted to add a little sparkle. So your Wink of Stella actually will pull those ink colors in just a little bit. So that's what I'm doing here. So I'm not saying it works like a water painter, but it does a little bit. You know, it will throw that ink around just a little bit, like I said. Alrighty. And I want to use some Stampin' Dimensionals on the back. And again, this is one of the images from the Radiating Stitches. It's a new die that Stampin' Up! Has. It's not found in the catalogs. It's just online. Those online things, that's something new that Stampin' Up's going to have from now on. So if you get onto my Dee Slater at stampinup.net and look on the store there, you can go to a section called Online Exclusives, and that's where you'll find things that are outside of the catalog. So I'm going to go ahead. Oops, I think I just want to glue that one down. Sometimes I tend to build up the embellishment for the front of it first, and then I glue it all down, or, you know, adhere it down all at once. It just kind of depends on what my mood is. I'm gonna do this kind of. Oh, great. Hi, Grace. She says good morning. She must be from a different part of the world. Good morning, Grace. Oh, good, Devette. I'm glad that you like it. Hi, Doreen. Happy Wednesday to you. And on this one, I'm putting a mini dimensional. You could use a full dimensional on it as well. Get that tucked in here. And I've got the 2021-23, the In Color Opal Rounds. These kind of have a variated color and they take on all sorts of hues. So I kind of like, I'm picking up, this is actually pale papaya. But really, you know, it goes with any yellow tones. So, whoops, let's see. We can get that off of there. I'm going to take the larger ones. And then that's going to give me my flower centers. You could change up the sizes if you'd like. I'm just using the big ones. Okay. Get that off to the side. I am trying to use about the same accessories with all of these, just so that you can see how, you know, you can take your set of products and make this. All right, I'm going to put the liquid glue just on the top part of this. I don't want it to interfere with anything. And so you can just kind of center that as a card. Now, I do notice that these do kind of fold up a little bit. I think if it was mailed and inside of your envelope for a while, it would stay, whoops, a little flatter on that. So if you don't like your cards to kind of pop up like this, oh, I hope my internet's doing. Well, I'm back using my, just my phone camera only on that. My local internet, or my internet here in my studio, went out. So anyways, we'll kind of pick up where we left off, and I'm so sorry about where it was. Basically what I was saying is that the, you know, you can use the ribbon for either a belly band or you could, you know, use it with or without it, I guess. That's what it was. So again, I'm so sorry about that. All of a sudden I looked up and it said that, you know, I didn't have internet service and that it booted me out. My goodness. All right, so that's the first way of doing this. Let's see if we can't regroup here a little bit on that. So that's one way of using it. All right, let's get out. Let's do our second card of the night. And if you want to come on and say hi for a second time, you know, I would welcome that as well. All right, let's get this going. All right, our second card tonight, again, uses our 2 sheets of 6x6, but we're going to do something a little differently with this one. When we open this one up, it opens this way, and then the pocket is in the middle. You know, there's a middle reveal to it. All right, so let me show you how that one works. And why don't we do a little stamping ahead of time, and then that way when we're ready, we can put it all together. All right. So again, this is from those radiating stitch dies. I don't see comments as well when I do it just on my phone, when I'm doing the live on my phone. So I'll try to look up every now and then, or look at it, and if I can see your comment, I will definitely, you know, say howdy to you. All right, so now on this one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the same floral stamps here, and I'm going to clean that off just a little bit, and I'll grab our Night of Navy. We'll make the center thing on here. So I know there was quite a few that were watching the first time, and so my heart's kind of sinking a little bit that maybe, you know, people thought I I'm not coming back. So hopefully folks see that I'm back live again. All right, so that's the background in Night of Navy. And now with Balmy Blue, we'll go ahead and grab that. Oh, you know, live is so much fun, but you do take a risk, don't we, on it? And I've got Balmy Blue, and this is the one that's kind of the filler. And I like to do the outline first. I seem to have more success with that. Look how pretty that is. Looks just like the paper. And get that closed and I'll set aside for now. And let's see here. And then also from that stamp set, there's these cute little flowers, and those make good little fillers or little accents. So we can kind of give the background a little flower love. Going crazy. There we go. All right. So I think that's about all the stamping that we really need to do to kind of showcase it. All right. So how does this one go together? Well, it's the same way as before. So it's everything starts with for the basic one on this 6x6 needing 2 sheets. You start with a score at 2.5. And at the end, I'll throw up the measurements so that you can take a screenshot of it if you'd like, so that you know it. Okay, so it always starts out with that. And I wanted to show that it, you know, you can, as long as your paper doesn't have direction to it, you can kind of play around with what sides that you like on what. I've got this so that I have the short side over here with this pattern. And then here I've got it so this is on the inside. So this 3.5 inch sections, these will kind of always line up back to back. But on this one, we want it to open up almost like a, oh, what do I want to say? Not necessarily a gatefold, but kind of reminiscent of that. And so our pocket is actually this side. So before we do any gluing, we want to take our circle punch of choice. And again, just kind of eyeball the center. I'm going to take a little notch out of it. Okay, so now when we glue this, we want to make sure that, oops, that wasn't centered very well. But we want to make sure that we don't glue this whole section down like we did before. This is our pocket, so we want to put the glue just on the outside of the back side, okay? So this is going to be my front, and so this is actually going to be the back side of it. And so now, and I'm going to kind of know where my pocket fold is here. So here is where we're going to put our glue on the top and the bottom and along the side, or along the seam, I should say. Okay, again, just kind of knowing that that's the back side of it. And so now when we flip it over like such and glue it down and line it up, now we have our pocket here. And so here's like how like this might look, happy birthday. And you could tuck that in there. Again, this is made with building up the images from Petal Park, and then the happy birthday is from Go To Greetings. I'll show you that one. You guys have seen me use that a lot. I love these. These are, once you get using them, it's like they're just the right size. They are a really good go-to greeting set. Okay, so then that's where our little pull-out note is. And then we don't want this bulky in here. We would just glue that down like such on it, how this is. And I'll do that here in just a little bit. But also what I wanted to show, if you wanted to, you can make a little tuck element here that keeps it down. And that's what I did here. Now, I don't think that you necessarily need to notch it out. but I'm going to try that this time without notching, and we'll see what happens. Okay, these are some other shapes, excuse me, that are in that radiating stitch. You get 2 circles. This is the largest of the circle. And so I'm going to use this as my tuck element. And even as you see this, if I put it clear over to the side, I could tuck it into the flower, but I really like the look of seeing the whole circle. So I think I'm going to do like I did before, and I am going to notch this out. Since this flap here is open, I can get my circle, or my circle punch, I should say. I'll try to do a better job of eyeballing it here. Kind of get it more in the center. That looks good. And punch. All right, and I did like this popped up. Now in this case, I am going to go ahead and put this down first, because it's going to help me with knowing where to position this. So this kind of just nicely goes right here. And whoops, I want it actually a little bit over, a little more, so that it actually tucks behind the circle. Can you see how I'm overlapping that just a little bit and putting that down? There we go. See, that catches it nicely. All right, let's go ahead and we'll get our scrap basic white again. And we're going to just replicate this look right here that we did before. So I'm going to start with the Nighted Navy. And because I'm going to stamp and punch, I want the larger of the flowers on the right hand bottom. And we'll come up here with the Balmy Blue. And we'll get that on here. And now we can punch. I hope everybody can see what I'm doing. I just realized I might have been out of the frame on some of it. If I am, I do apologize. I'll try to make sure I get within the frame here. Now on this one, I'm not going to use the little one. We can put that somewhere else down the road. And just like before, I'm going to add a little bit of my Wink of Stella. And just like you have like a paintbrush, if you don't kind of wipe a few of the, or do a couple of test swipes, you can pull the color from the previous one. So if I wasn't real careful with it, I might have had some of that yellow tone on it from previously. Okay, we got those all blinged up, and let's get a dimensional on these. So this is going to act as our little catch. So you could put, you know, a belly band. You could do what we did before on it if you'd like. It's totally however you want to do it. And, but I thought I just would show you that if you wanted to make a little catch on your 6x6 pocket card, you could do that too. For some reason, even though it might be in the mail, I kind of like to crinkle them up first. Just in case I look at them for a little bit. I like that 3D look. And we'll get our opals out again, our opal rounds. And I think I had on this one, I pulled out the, what really was, I think it was the polished pink, but it's a pretty pale polished pink. Let me get one of the little ones here. Put that on the center. And then if you wanted to, you could, you know, add a little ribbon element to the side of it. You know, it's kind of like if you look and say like, oh, gives me an opportunity here to do something, you could do it here. And so I just showed that you could just tie a ribbon around it. And I purposely left this because I thought, well, you just want to watch to make sure it doesn't twist on you. So I will untie that and do it again. And then the hearts are part of that die set as well, and decorate that on the inside. And then you have, let's see, where's our little tuck card that I took out? Oh, I think I put it in this one. And then go from there. I actually got this idea from, I think her name is Pink Strawberry, and the Z is on the end of strawberries, like that on it. I'll have the thank you on there. She's actually does scrapbooking. And so she's calling this like a journal. So if you do scrapbooking, like you could put this inside your scrapbook page and have interaction. Even if not, I think this is a great card to send. Also, I wanted to kind of show that you can put another layering piece of basic white here and put your handwritten wording to whoever you send it to, or you can use the card here. But you've got a whole lot of real estate to really get creative on if you wanted to. All right, so that is our second card. So the pockets in the center. Still only using our 2 pieces of 6x6. Okay, on our third card, it uses 3 pieces of 6x6. Let me just get this kind of cleaned up here just a little bit. Looks like more people are tuning in. They found me that I'm back on. Thank you guys for doing so. If you're just joining me, the first part of it, I got kicked off of the internet. My internet just crashed. Always good to get a stamper's heart moving, isn't it? That's what it does to me some nights. Okay, our third card is a, it uses, again, the 6x6 paper, but this time, not 1 pocket, but 2 pockets. We have one here, and when we open it up, we have 2 pockets. Oh my gosh, how fun is that? I can see, like, for this double pocket one, that, excuse me, that, like, especially like graduations are just right around the corner, birthday, like the first one can be your pull out birthday one, and then your second one can be, cash, check, greeting, or not credit cards, but gift cards on it. But you can really load up the fun thing with the pockets on this one. So you've got 2 pockets on this. Okay, for this one, we don't need 2 6x6s. We're going to need 3. And let me just bring all of this in. This is where you can screenshot all of it here. So we're on card number 3. So we're going to need 2 pieces of the 6x6 scored at our 2.5. As you can see, 2.5s are our common denominator on all of these cards. And then on our third 6x6, we're going to score it 2 scores at 1/2 inch and at 4. And so let me go ahead and I'll get these out. Alrighty, I think that's everything in my business size envelope. You do need a different size envelope for those. That's why you see me pulling those out of the the business size envelope for that. And you can pick those up at any where office supplies are stored. Okay, so those are the 2 that I have that are scored at our 2.5 that we've been doing on their other 2. And then ahead of time, I've got this scored at 1/2 inch and at 4. So again, you can kind of, depending on how you want to fold these, if they don't have direction, you can decide like what you want where. And on this one, I think I want to do and so you can kind of see what color combination that you like from your 6x6s. And I think I really liked that look right there. It's going to have this orientation. And so when I have this on the inside, and you'll see this 1/2 inch strip. If you want to cover it up, you can. I'm just leaving it blank. So you're like, well, this is going to be like this, and this is going to be like that. So you can kind of see. So actually, this is going to be on the outside. And so while that's pretty, I do want to have the peachy side, the petal pink. I want that contrast. So this is how that you would kind of play around with your design. So then when I open this up, nope, I don't want the pink on pink. I want it to look like that. All right, let's put this together. So this is going to be the order that we're going to assemble those. All right, so let's kind of take a look at our clutch, I guess I should say. When we open it up, this first one here, this is the one that has our 1/2 inch strip. this is going to end up being our pocket, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to have the 2.5, and then this is where we're going to have our unique one that has the 1/2 inch and 4, and we're going to put some adhesive right here. Okay, so I'm going to kind of flip this over, and on this section here, this is our 1/2 inch section that we scored. We are going to put this right up against this other score line. Okay, now this is what's going to hold the pocket. So this is our notch piece. Sometimes I put this in where, like, I go ahead and glue it down before I notch it, just so that I know for sure which side and everything gets the notch for the pocket. And we notch it so that people know that there's a surprise of some sort inside. And punch. All right, so now when we fold this up, this is our pocket. So we want adhesive just on the outer section of this last piece here, or the last score line. So just outer. It's a little hard to see with the pattern here, but just go up to the score line. And we'll fold. Thanks, Doreen. I think so too. I think it's a great grad card. We still give cash, and so like this would be perfect. You know, we can sit there and, you know, however you want to lead it. If you want to lead it with the money, or you want to lead it with a greeting, or load it up with a lot of cash, right? All right, so then we're coming to this one. And again, you kind of decide which side that you want. And I've got glue on my grid paper there. All right, so this is, I do want this to be the pocket. And so I'm going to, now on this one, this whole thing is going to get glued down together. So I can put glue on all of it. So if you want, you can just go ahead and put glue on the outside. Do that. And again, this is coming, just kind of butt it right up on that score line that we had. Line up the edges. And then before we glue it down, we'll add our other little notch. And if you wanted to, you could, once you get the hang of it, before you glue that one down, you could keep that open and punch through 2 pieces of designer paper at the same time. You'd be perfectly fine doing that. And we'll do a little bit of that. And again, the pocket here, whoops, the pocket, only the outer edges from score line out to the edge. And score line out to the edge. Make sure I have that out of the road. And then up, and we have our second pocket by adding a third 6x6, scored a little differently. We just created another pocket. All right, so now I'm going to get my bone folder and really get those edges. I hope that I don't have them glued together since I had a little bit on there. All right, so then here's that. And you'll take a little better time and line that up. I can see that I was probably in a hurry and it's a little bit off of that. All right, so you might have seen that I had a belly band on the other one. I just have an 1 inch by 12 or 11 inch piece of cardstock. This is in the Sweet Sorbet. That's from I picked up the color from the paper there. And what I do is, like, I don't measure it ahead of time when I do belly bands. I just kind of wanted to show you. I just kind of go, all right, so I'm going to always have something that covers where it connects. So I want it tight, but not so tight they can't get it off. So about right there. So if you just are creating a belly band on the spur of the moment, that's all that you have to do. And
Normally I would do Terran tape, but we're just gonna, I've got my liquid glue out. We'll just keep going with liquid glue. And we'll put that together. Hold that down just a second. Okay, that's gonna be there. Whoops. Put something a little heavy on it for just a second. Put that off to the side. Okay, while that's getting dry, what's going to be the top part of the belly band. Again, these are the two different, there's 3 different sizes of the stitched rectangles in our new radiating stitch dies. And so these are the medium and small. And on the small is where we're going to go ahead and stamp our sentiment. And the sentiment from this one is from Dainty Delights. So the Celebrate You. Again, it's like Doreen said, like great graduation card on that. And we'll go ahead and we'll ink that up. And I'll make sure I know where I'm going. Yep. And I have this a little bit off to the right when I stamp it. And again, I don't know if I said that, but I'm stamping that in Sweet Sorbet. And then with some more scrap paper, I think I'm out of scrap paper that will work. Let's just see. I'm going to go ahead and clean my stamps again. So again, just kind of keeping with the continuity of stamps and the stamp set, with kind of using the Petal Park bundle as the basics for the flowers. That kind of definitely they were made to coordinate with that designer series pack. Just going to cut off some of this excess. There we go. And now this time I'm going to start with the Sweet Sorbet ink as the background. Like before, I did the Night of Navy, so I always, you know, not always, but I try to use the darker one as the background. So we got Sweet Sorbet as the outline. And then we got Petal Pink. Just making sure I got all of that off, yep. So I've got Petal Pink now as the inside of the flowers. And we'll do that. Ooh, I'm a little bit off on that, but that's okay, because with it all being airy and white, we are in good shape. And let's see, I might have to take a little bit of this off so I can get it where I need it. And we'll get our punch. And a trick with the punches to line it up is you can hold it down halfway to hold it in place while you line up your images how you like. We'll punch those babies. This is such a pretty color combination. Now in this case, I think I will start to save the flowers to the end to put on my belly band accent that's going to cover the seam and act as the sentiment too. That way I can better see the position of it. Okay, this is nice, loose enough but tight enough to keep it. And we want to go ahead and put our dimensionals. Sometimes I do it on the back here, the back side of it. But to know where the center is on the belly band, this is going to cover quite a bit of it, so I can put 3 of them with confidence that the layering element on top is going to fit on it. Get those done. Okay, kind of line this up a little better than what I did on my previous one. Get that centered how you want. And we'll get our dimensionals again. Kind of scatter those around this top layer. Also with the flowers, I think you can see how I've got one of the cards I layered all 3, one of them I just used 2, and then this one I'm using 3 but separating them a little bit. I guess I separated them on the first one too. Okay. And if you feel like you need to jazz this up a little bit, which why not with the Wink of Stella, we'll get some bling on it, catch the light just a little bit. And then we'll get our gems. And this time, instead of on the flowers, I'm using the gems to fill some of the white space that's around the Celebrate You. And, you know, you can pick up the, you know, some of the colors that were in there on the sample one here. I picked up the green because I had the green paper that I chose. This one does not have the green. It's kind of more of the pink and the peachy one. And so I think I'm just gonna kind of go with this a little bit and kind of add both of them in there together. Just kind of scatter those around a little bit. Okay, so that's how one might decorate that one on the outside. And then again, you'd have your cards that you would, or your inserts. Now on these, I didn't decorate them. You can add other stamping elements. You can do your sentiments. I'm kind of leaving these blank on purpose. I've got some spring birthdays, and I don't know that I have a whole lot of graduations. I think I have like great nieces or nephews that are graduating, like kindergarten type of things on it. But then this is how, you know, that would look. Again, you have all sorts of real estate on these, like I said before, of doing additional stamping, journaling, put photos on it, whatever you want. Or just like probably quite honestly how I'll do it, I'll just let the designer paper do all of the work for us. All right, let's go ahead and we'll bring in all three of our designs again. And let me make some room. Got everything here, right? About 2 seconds. I think I have no less than 50 items in a 24 by 12 area here, right? I mean, that's what we stampers do. That's exactly what we do. All right, so here's the 3 cards, and I'm just going to quickly recap the sizes, and I'll bring that back in because I think I told you that I'd have that. So again, here's the screenshot that you can take or pause the video and copy those down. So the first 2 cards, exactly the same. Use 2 6x6s, cut it 2.5, and 1 3x5 for your pocket. So the first one is just a 1 pocket that would, the pocket's in the center of the card, like that. The second one, again, using 2 6x6s, but where we decide to put the pocket, this is now the center pocket for that. And then the third one, instead of 2 pieces of 6x6, let's add a third, and that third one allows us to have 2 pockets. Okay, that is everything. I hope that you enjoyed this project here. And again, I apologize for the internet going out. I'll do my best to try to maybe squish these together to make one video to make it easier to find and to replay if you like. All right, have a great week, everybody, and happy crafting. Bye-bye.